Hello IELTS aspirants and welcome to the Target IELTS channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to write an IELTS essay. This essay is going to be the writing task 2 of both the academic and the general modules. Only the writing task 1 is different in these two modules, but the writing task 2 remains the same. This here topic is an actual essay topic which came in the exam. Today I'm going to discuss this with you. You might get a similar topic. I'm going to give you some instructions, give you some ideas. There's going to be bonus tips, vocabulary, and lots more. Please hang out with us for some time. And I hope this will be able to give you a fair idea about what an IELTS essay should be like and also how you can get maximum marks. So let's get started. The question is, some people think that cities are the best places to live while others prefer to live in rural areas. Compare the advantages and the disadvantages of living in the city to living in the countryside. Give your opinion. So basically in this essay we have to give the advantages and the disadvantages of rural areas and cities, and we also have to give our opinion, meaning which one do we prefer? Do we prefer to live in a countryside or the city? Now, we've got some instructions here. So the instructions which come with the IELTS essay are: present an argument to an educated reader and no special knowledge is required. This means that you don't need to be an expert on the subject or the question which has been asked to you. You don't need to be an expert on city dwelling and country dwelling, but you need to present your answer in good English to a person who is educated. Use some good vocabulary, use the correct grammar structure, and you'll be good. Write at least 250 words. This is the minimum word limit. 250 words minimum is required. Otherwise, you'll get your marks cut if your score is below this. Make comparisons. You have to compare the city to the countryside and give your opinion. That we've already seen in the essay topic. You have to give your opinion about where you want to live. Now let's get some ideas. A helpful tip here is that when you sit for your IELTS exam, please make these columns or please use some bullet points like these so that you don't forget your ideas when you're in the flow of writing the essay. So it is very important to just take the first 3 or 4 minutes, read your topic very carefully and formulate some small points like 2 to 3 word points so that you don't forget all the things that you want to write in your essay. In this essay, let's look at our points, our ideas. We've got cities on this side and the countryside or rural areas on this side because we are trying to compare them eventually. I've got the positive and negative points, the advantages and disadvantages of cities on this side, and the advantages and disadvantages of the rural areas on this side. First of all, we will look at the cities. Cities have better infrastructure. This is a positive point. Better infrastructure means they've got better roads, railway stations, airports, and whatnot. So basically, you have a lot of facilities. Specialized healthcare. In the cities, you have big hospitals, you've got private clinics, you've got dispensaries, big pharmacies, so specialized healthcare is available. Higher education institutes. Once again, cities have universities, colleges, special course colleges like cookery colleges and fine arts colleges and whatnot. So basically, higher education is prevalent in the cities. Wider entertainment options. A city will provide you a lot of different types of entertainment, like you can go to different types of restaurants, you can go to cinemas and malls, and there must be some other gaming arenas or arcades. So all these wide entertainment options are available to you. There is a lot of variety in entertainment. The next point is more diversity. People come to the cities from very different parts of the country or from very different parts of the world. So cities always have more diversity. There are people from different parts and they bring their own culture and they have a mix of culture in the cities. So there is a lot of diversity. Now we come to the negative points of cities. These were the advantages. Now we're coming to the disadvantages. They are polluted. There's a lot of population. There is overpopulation generally in most cities. So naturally pollution is always there. Vehicular pollution is there because of too many cars. Then there is less water and air pollution. All of that is there. There's a lot of noise pollution too in the city. More stress. Because everybody is working in a city, they are running against the clock. So when they are running against the clock, they're always stressed, going from one place to another. And on top of that, there's traffic. When you have a traffic jam, or in any case, there are a lot of cars on the road, there's always stress. You spend 3-4 hours on the road in a city. So the polluted environment and more stress together will give you more diseases. So diseases are prevalent in cities. Okay? So these are the negative points for cities, these are the positive points. Now coming to the countryside. Here we have the positive points or the advantages for the countryside and some negative points or disadvantages. So let's look at them. Cleaner environment. Obviously, a rural area is going to be much more cleaner as compared to a city, and stress-free. Rural area life is much more laid back. People are not running towards their jobs. There are no deadlines like 10 o'clock you have to reach somewhere. It's more laid back. So it's relatively stress-free. So because of a cleaner environment and stress-free environment, you have lesser diseases, obviously. Then there is a greater sense of community. What does this mean? It means that there are fewer people in a village, and so they know each other. If there are, let's say, 50 to 70 households, or maybe even 100, they might know each other by face, or they might know each other by name. So there is a greater sense of community. People of one village have a feeling of belonging to each other. Then staying in a village can bring us closer to nature. It's obvious when you stay in nature, you come closer to nature, you watch things grow, you watch them blossom. So there is a sense of being closer to nature. Now these are all the positive points. We have to now look at the negative points. First negative point is there is lesser infrastructure. So definitely cities have a lot of infrastructure, but villages don't. They might have very few roads, and they also might not be big roads. There'll be small roads, and they might not be properly maintained. A village might not have a railway station. Airports are definitely not there. So basically, you have very little infrastructure. No specialized healthcare. You might have a dispensary or a small hospital or a small clinic in a village, but no special healthcare is available. For that, you will have to go to the city. Higher education is not available. Now, most villages have their own schools, but colleges and universities are not commonly found in a rural area. Lesser entertainment options. Once again, because the population is less, your entertainment is mostly going to be nature related. Maybe you'll go for cycling. There might be a restaurant or two. There is generally no cinema halls or malls or any such thing. So there is very little entertainment. Lesser diversity. Once again, people from that village or from some neighboring village might be living there. Most probably it is the ethnic people of that place only who are staying there. You won't have a lot of diversity. You won't have people coming from different parts of the world to live in that particular village. So there is lesser diversity. So these are all our points for cities and for countryside, and we have discussed them, all the advantages and disadvantages. If you want, you can write them down on your notebook or someplace, so you can write the essay more easily. Now let's come to the format. How do we write an essay? First thing is we'll do some things to remember. Write in legible paragraphs. It means that your paragraphs should be very understandable. You have to write in paragraphs which have a definite starting and a definite ending and are dealing with one issue. Okay, like cities will have one paragraph, villages will have one paragraph, your opinion will have another, an introduction. That way, don't jump into the topic, give an introduction. That's the point. You are not supposed to start with I want to live in a village or I want to live in a city. Give a couple of generalized statements which are very connected to your topic. In this case, talk about how people want to live in cities or how people want to live in villages, how it is their own preference. You don't have to jump into the topic directly. Give 2 or 3 such lines and then you can talk about what you want. At the end, give a proper conclusion. Once again, when you end the essay, please don't end it abruptly. You're supposed to give a conclusion, sum up the whole essay in a few lines. Give sufficient variation in words, which we call vocabulary. So you have to give some variation in words. That all these points I have discussed below. I will give you step by step way of doing it. Paragraph 1. The introduction. General statements on the topic and state your opinion at the end of this paragraph. So, let's look at the example. The place where a person chooses to live depends on their individual preference. While some people enjoy living in the cities, others might like the countryside better. These are completely general statements that a person can have their own individual preference, their personal choice according to where they want to stay. Some people like cities, others like countryside. This is all general. Now I will come to specifics. I would prefer to live in, then you can write where you would prefer to live in. Would you prefer to live in a city or a village? You can fill it here. So this is how your introduction should be. A couple of general lines and then you come to the specifics of the essay. Now paragraph 2 and 3 are going to be about the cities and the rural areas, the arguments the advantages and disadvantages which we did above, right? So if you pick cities, I would prefer to live in cities over here, then you can give the points for cities that we discussed above. And then in the third paragraph, give the counter argument, which is right about rural areas, the comparison, right? But if you have chosen rural areas, then you interchange these paragraphs. If you say, I would prefer to live in a rural area, then paragraph 2 will be about rural areas and paragraph 3 will be about cities. So you can do that. Paragraph 4 is sum up the whole essay in a conclusion. We already discussed that above, that you give all the gist of the whole thing, wrap up the whole thing by writing 2 to 3 lines about what your essay was all about. It's a short summary. So whether a person should live in a rural area or an urban area is a matter of personal choice. We have changed the words here. Like here we had used individual preference. Over here we have used the words urban and rural and personal choice instead of individual preference. So this is vocabulary. You have shifted some words and made a completely new sentence. Then while both cities and countryside have their own advantages and disadvantages, which is true, I would like to live in, state your preference here, because now don't write the whole essay again. You just have to state it in one line. It's a summary. For example, I would like to live in the cities because they provide many good opportunities for education and work. That is one example. Now is time for your bonus. So the bonus is vocabulary for this essay. So I have taken 4 words and I have given you 4 synonyms for each word which can be used in this particular essay. So the thing about vocabulary is you should not try to cram it up. I've seen a lot of students who take a list of vocabulary and they try to learn words, but then you don't understand the usage of those words and you might end up using the wrong synonym in a wrong context. So the idea here is that I am going to pick up vocabulary for every essay that I do, and I'm going to write some sentences where you can see how it is supposed to be used. Okay? And as you keep doing that, like 2 words every day, 4 words every day, you will be able to build up a much better vocabulary within the month or 2 months, whatever time you have for preparing for your exam. So this is a very good way of building your vocabulary every day, doing just a couple of words and knowing how to use them. All right? Another special point that I can give you is that you must look at your own usage of words. We all have a different usage of words, as in I might use the word bad a lot, okay? And you might use the word beautiful a lot, right? So everybody has some pet words. So recognize your pet words and use the synonyms for them. Because tomorrow when you're going to be doing your speaking or your writing, you will tend to write those words because they are your pet vocabulary. So if you can do the synonyms for those particular words, it would be much better, because These are the words that you already use, right? So know what is your vocabulary. So in this case, let's look at bad. Bad can be polluted, contaminated, unsuitable, hazardous. Bad has many more synonyms, but I have taken these particular synonyms because they fit in this essay. Now, an example is the air in the cities is quite polluted. Water contamination is common. Contaminated, I have changed it to contamination here, a different form of the word so that it fits. It is unsuitable for consumption and hazardous for health, right? So, for beautiful, gorgeous, magnificent, stunning, pleasing. Example is rural houses boast of gorgeous surroundings. The views and vistas of the countryside are magnificent and stunning. It is quite pleasing to the eyes and relaxing for the mind. Next word is quiet. Calm, peaceful, tranquil, serene. Example is the countryside is usually very calm and peaceful. The tranquil and serene environment can keep one stress-free. All these words mean quiet, but they can be used in different ways to show that you have a wide range of vocabulary. It makes you sound much more educated. Good, excellent, respectable, superior, reliable. Example is the infrastructure in the cities is excellent. There are many respectable educational institutes situated in cities. The healthcare facilities are quite reliable and much superior as compared to those in rural areas. So all these words, I could have said the infrastructure in the cities is good, but excellent will give you better marks. There are many respectable educational institutions. I could have said there are many good educational institutions, but good would be a very simple word. Respectable, it shows that you know your words. So please remember these words. This is your bonus. The vocabulary is a bonus. Bad, beautiful, quiet, and good. All right. Now, coming to the most important part. This is our website, the Target IELTS website. It is www.freeieltsprep.com. There are hyphens in between. We have a lot of solved examples on this website. Please go and check it out. We'd like you to go there, comment there. You can even write this whole essay and post it there. Otherwise, you can write this whole essay and send it via email to ieltscorrectiontips@gmail.com. If you send us this email, this essay, write the whole essay, we'll check it for you, and so you will know what exactly you are doing, what mistakes you are making, so we can weed them out. So you can send your essay to ieltscorrectiontips@gmail.com if you like. Otherwise, please subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be putting a new video out every day with your letters and your graphs and your essays and speaking and vocabulary, just like this. It's going to be a very thorough video. It's going to be like being in a lecture in class. So please subscribe. I'm doing it all for free, all for you. Like this video, please. That would be a great thing if you could do it. Comment and share it. Spread the education, spread the knowledge, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.